Thank you for tuning in to Spiritual Debriefing from First Baptist Church, Hiwassee, a podcast about Christian men living a Christian life in a very unchristian world. With your hosts, Daniel Meadows, Derek Fisher, Randy Bryson, Jed Harris, and me, Ray Taggart.
Welcome to Spiritual Debriefing. I am one of your hosts, Brother Daniel Meadows, Youth Pastor at First Baptist Hiwassee.
Oh, yeah. I'm Randy.
Hey.
Who are you?
I'm Jed.
Hi, Jed.
Hey, Jed.
And I'm Derek.
Derek.
Derek. Oh, wait, one more.
There was no pause there at all. And this is Ray. How's everybody doing today, tonight, or whenever it is you might be listening? Just before we get started, make sure you like, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, hit that little notification bell. Share the podcast with your friends and family. Just like and share it. That'd be the biggest thing you could do. And keep an eye out, too. Check out our notifications on social media. We might have some merch coming along here pretty soon, too, for you guys. So without further ado, let's get this going.
Yeah. Ring my bell. Oh. Sorry, that just sounded awesome.
So push those buttons, Ray, right? Like, subscribe, all the fun stuff, all the good things. Sweet. Hey, so we just got done with Thanksgiving. And I don't know about you, but I ate a lot more than I needed to.
Nope.
Not Randy.
I did not.
Really?
Why?
Because
You
he
can
ate.
vouch for me. I didn't eat a whole lot, did I?
I don't think you went back for seconds.
No.
Really?
Are you feeling okay?
Peachy, man. Peachy.
I ate way too much.
I
I
did.
can say that. Way too much.
Seconds, thirds, all of the above.
I just had one plate on Thanksgiving.
in each
One
hand?
meal.
One
Just-
plate in
no,
each hand?
just
Really?
one.
Just one.
Just that day.
But it
It was-
might have been too full.
It's the plate the size of this table.
Yeah.
Don't judge. Don't judge.
No judgment.
I love all the leftovers. Like, I just eat it for days and
Yeah.
days and days. Yeah.
Turkey sandwiches. And
No, we didn't have turkey.
You
We had
didn't
ham.
have turkey. That's
We
right. You had ham this year.
Mhm.
We had turkey and ham. So
I can eat
But-
ham all day.
you know, there's only so much of the leftovers I can eat though. A couple of days and then I'm done.
My wife's a leftover wizard. She'll take a couple different leftovers, combine it together, something brand new that you had no idea that you could do with it. So that's been always been exciting to see what she whips up out of that. Now this year we were over at the Brysons for Thanksgiving, so we didn't have a ton of leftovers, but still, she made some pretty good stuff out of what we did have. So
So I need to come over to your house then for the
yeah.
leftovers.
leftovers are good. And then finally we do the leftover buffet. When you got like not enough for everybody to eat. All kinds of different things. So you just
Yeah.
eat them all up.
So you
and
just
everybody gets
make-
a scoop
yeah.
or two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you wind up with like a piece of turkey here and cherry pie there. And,
Right. Yep.
Then you shake it all about. Oh.
and you
I thought you was going somewhere with that. My bad.
No,
My
we're
bad.
not singing and dancing. So, hey. So Thanksgiving behind us. Looking forward to Christmas. Yeah. So one of my favorite holidays. But the Christmas tree can't go up till after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Well, okay, I'll go with Christmas tree, but I put my lights up day after Thanksgiving.
Well,
so-
you're right. Yeah. No. So like Thanksgiving happens.
Yeah, it's because his neighbors did.
Yeah. Thanksgiving happens, and then that's when all the Christmas stuff goes up the tree.
Monkey
and-
see, monkey do.
And it was warm.
well, yeah, and it's warm. That goes all the way back to Minnesota, because if you don't get your Christmas lights up, even by Thanksgiving, there's feet of snow on the ground, and it's in the sub-zero temperatures at certain days. So you got to get it in there when you
Wait,
can.
how many feet of snow? You just said feet.
It depends. It really
Average.
does. Well, I wouldn't know technically, but I've definitely seen, a foot of snow on Thanksgiving before. And then it'll melt and there'll be no snow on Christmas because that's just how it is. You hear this everywhere, but if you don't like the weather in Minnesota, just wait 5 minutes. It'll change.
So Ray.
That's every state you go to.
So what he didn't say was, like last time he told us, he rolled up all the snow. So it was warm that day. There was no snow on the ground anymore. So had a Christmas tree or had Christmas lights with a snowman out there and a dry ground. See,
Yep.
so there was no foot of snow anymore.
No, it was gone.
It's all gone.
It was a 5 foot tall snowman.
See, awesome. I'm sure the little one had fun rolling them up.
So Christmas coming up. Derek had a good thought for
Derek can
this.
think. Yeah.
As we sometimes as we look forward to Christmas. And so, Derek, do you want to share a little bit about that?
No, like what I wanted to do tonight was, kind of share our Christmas traditions, what we do in our families, and then, sorry, I'm still getting over this cold. Let's start with kind of the war on Christmas. Why are we kind of taking away Christmas? Why are we taking away telling people Merry Christmas? And then I think the second part of this would be we're going to tell the story of Christmas. So by the time you get this podcast, it would be a couple of days before Christmas.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I wanted to kind of do.
Sweet. Kind of a two-part.
So kind of a two-part, and talk about Christmas.
Yeah.
I love Christmas.
When does Christmas officially start for you, as far as celebrating the holiday? And when I say that, I mean like the decorations and.
It's usually the week after Thanksgiving. That is for us, because we're kind of lazy sometimes.
Because of all the seconds and thirds you eat.
Right. I don't know. I mean, like, like when we lived in Arizona, when we lived in the neighborhood, pretty much like what Ray's doing. When everyone put their Christmas lights out, we're like, oh, we got to do ours too. But now that we're out in the no neighbors hardly, it's like, no one's going to see it.
Just for you at that point.
Right. Just for us. But yeah, what about you? When does it start for you?
It depends. So like last year, I don't know. Last year was just really warm that I never got into the whole got to put my lights and trees up.
Mm-hmm.
I was just kind of like, it's Christmas. I celebrate Jesus' birth year round anyways. Why? But this year, I mean, generally it would start right after Thanksgiving. Generally the day after. Especially growing up, that was always the big thing. Was we'd go out, buy the new fresh tree, cut it down, decorate the day after.
Oh, you cut your own tree?
We did growing up.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That was something we always did together. And then it got few and far between of finding like those Christmas tree farms to cut down.
Mm-hmm.
So then you just go to Walmart in the parking lot and buy a tree,
Mm-hmm.
a fresh cut tree, and then finally, I think it was probably, I was probably 7th, 8th grade after my parents divorced. Mom was just like, I'm buying a fake tree. We're not doing this anymore. So,
yeah. I see. I grew up with a real tree. We had real trees, and then when I got married, I was like, "No, we got to have a real tree." Then I went over to, this is a mess. I don't want to clean up.
That's
we got to
it.
water the thing. So my wife went out and bought a fake tree. That's what we've had.
you got to make sure you water those things.
Yeah.
Well, we always had real ones when I was growing up, but we didn't go to the tree farm. We just went out and found a cedar tree.
Yeah, there you go.
Of course, they was pretty plentiful back in the day.
Jed, when does Christmas start for you?
Yeah, it usually starts the day after Thanksgiving or real close to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
We start decorating. There's one year Lisa got all hyped up, and I think we was almost decorated right at Thanksgiving Day.
That's hard for me to do
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a one holiday at a time kind of guy, So,
Which- To be truthful, that was probably, since we celebrate Thanksgiving on the Saturday after, she probably had it done on the Saturday before the Saturday. So between Thanksgiving and Saturday, she
There
had
you
it
go.
done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always there's just not a lot of great Thanksgiving decorations too. You know, you can throw up a few colored things. I mean, we had a wreath on the front door that was, orange and red and brown and kind of those colors and that type of stuff. But I always like the Christmas decorations better. They look nice, you know. So it was, I start as soon as I see someone else starting. I'm like, all right, time to go. And yeah, we have our whole tree up. My wife's got her Christmas village out already, all set up, all lit up. Got the decorations on the house. Actually, thanks to Daniel, I got a couple extra sets of lights I'm going to hang up here in the next couple of days. He passed over a few more Christmas lights because
The ones you didn't want to hang.
yeah,
They're ones we've never hung.
yeah.
I don't know where I got them
Never used
from.
So I'll put them to good use and hopefully just keep growing it up. My dad was big into Christmas. We always had fake trees. We never had real ones, but we went from one fake tree to two fake trees. We had one upstairs and downstairs, and he used to set up his old camcorder, and he'd put it on that mode where it'd record like for 2 seconds every 20 seconds or whatever it is while we were putting it together and layering it up, and so you'd have this quick time lapse video of the Christmas tree going up, and he did the whole house up with lights too. So I inherited all that stuff when I moved out and when he passed away. So before we moved to Hawaii, I decorated every tree. I had my deck covered, my house covered. I mean, I was, in those runnings for most Christmas lights in the neighborhood. And it's going to take me a while, but I'll get back up there eventually and use my technical skills. I'll probably have one of those light shows before too long. So
There you go.
yeah, that's what I'm going for. One day there'll be pictures.
We got 3 trees. We do 3. We have one on the front porch with just kind of some like outdoor looking ornaments on it. And then we've got our big tree that's in the dining room. And then I do a little 4-foot tree downstairs. And that's my Razorback tree. That's where all the Razorback stuff goes.
Yeah, and I don't want to sell it short. My wife is definitely in with me on this. We have, if you counted every tree, we have 6 Christmas trees right now.
There you go.
One big one and 5 little ones, but yeah.
That was, I was about to say, Taylor's grandparents, they had a tree in every room of the house. And when I say every room, I mean bathrooms included.
Oh, wow.
Living room, dining room, bedrooms, bathrooms. They had trees galore.
Got to get your spirit on it.
I guess so.
Every room you hit.
So what about you, Randy?
What about me?
Yeah.
When does
Quiet
Christmas
over there.
Oh, yeah. Christmas starts, well, my wife puts a rule on me. Christmas don't start until at least that Saturday after Thanksgiving because I love real trees. So growing up, I think we had a combination of both. I mean, one year we'd have a real one year we'd have fake. I mean, just go back and forth. But when we got married, I think we started with a fake tree. And then I was like, nope, we're doing real from now on. But I think we've been to a couple farms, but I'm cheap, so I don't really buy those expensive trees. So,
Because they got expensive too.
yeah. So
Just go to Judd's place.
we
You might find one out there.
we hit our local Lowe's now and just grab one. But what I've always had and what I've always liked around my tree is, if you want to talk traditions or whatever, is a train around my bottom of the tree. I've always loved that. Always want it running, but for some odd reason, it's never running anymore. So I'm like, yeah, cool. It's there at least. So
Oh yeah, my dad had one where you put a little vegetable oil in there and a little smoke would come out the
Yeah,
stack as it
yeah.
went around and everything. Oh yeah.
You're on the same page as Colby. He puts a train under the tree every year.
yeah.
Grandpa had that. That was his thing.
I usually have it, and now that I've got my big dog now, I was told it won't go up until closer to Christmas. Her tail goes everywhere, so I haven't seen my train yet, but tree's up already. We don't really do much outside. I'm sure we'll after she hears all this, but
She'll be like, "Why aren't you like Ray and put lights
why
up
don't
everywhere?
you do all that?
Go put all the lights up."
I'll call Ray. Jeez, no, we get the decorations, everything out by that Saturday. I'm more of the lazy one. I will go get the tree. We'll, family pick out the tree, bring it home, get it all set up, and then I'm done. I don't do decorations. My wife and kids does everything else, and then I'll put everything back up. But we've inherited a new decoration. I think about 2 Christmases now. And it's pretty cool. I'll probably correct it on this, but I think my sister-in-law made this for my wife. She just got like a log and made a reindeer out of it. You know, legs, head, horns, everything. It's pretty neat. So every year it's "Is Hubert on the porch yet?" So yeah, so Hubert's been part of our family for the last couple of years. So I like Christmas. I love, especially when I was a kid, I loved just doing it all. Now I love just seeing my kids do it all, you know. So that's the big part for me. I don't necessarily have to be involved. I just like to just see everything else go up. So it's pretty cool. You got to have a choo-choo train, though.
Gotta have the train.
Yeah. I love the Christmas movies.
Yep.
Which ones?
All of them.
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
Well, I love Home Alone.
Yes,
The
that was
classic.
my one.
Yeah, that's like, gotta watch it.
Mauve.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite part.
Harmony's got the songs from both Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2 like memorized. She knows how to play them on her keyboard from the first time she saw them. She loves those movies too.
Yeah,
There you go.
it's every time. I mean, I think it's about 2 weeks till Christmas. It's the movie start.
Oh, yeah.
And it always starts with Home Alone because that's about the only time I just sit down and watch something. The rest of the time it's like, I don't watch The Grinch. I don't watch anything else. Elf is.
I like Elf.
Elf. I was about to say Elf. I was
That
gonna
gets
say, as long as y'all
annoying.
don't judge me, Elf is one of my favorites.
That's one my wife brought in. I mean, I've watched it, but that's one of hers for
Oh
sure.
no, it is it. So did you see though? TBS this year is doing 24 hours of Elf. I don't remember what day it is, but working at the elementary school last year for Christmas, I dressed up as Elf all of December for like car duty.
I think I remember that.
For car duty, I was Elf, Buddy the Elf, every day through December.
I got to know one question here, and it's for Ray.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
All right.
What's the ultimate Christmas movie?
Well, so there's differing opinions on this, but honestly, my favorite Christmas movie of all time, I always watch Die Hard.
Exactly.
That's mine. Wife won't watch it with me, but I watch Die Hard and 1 and 2.
Yeah.
They both happen on Christmas.
That's what I wanted to hear. Yeah, move on. You guys talk whatever you want.
I also can confirm in a recent interview I saw that one of Bruce Willis's daughters says that is a Christmas movie. For anyone who
Then
wants
it's
to
official,
argue,
then.
it's official.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay then. Never knew that. No.
I still like Christmas Vacation too. National Lampoon's.
Yes.
Christmas Vacation.
That is Ray with the lights. That's what he's striving to do.
I probably can
Can't
say
wait for
I've
inspiration.
probably never seen it all the way through.
Oh
I've
my
seen
goodness.
bits and pieces, but I've
We're going
never
to have to
watched it.
fix that.
Yeah.
That's one of those movies we watch every year.
And
That's
we're
a
going to get the
tradition.
Moosehead mugs.
We have them.
Oh, you do?
Well, we don't, but my dad does. Because that's, I mean, like I said, that is what we do. We watch.
That was to Randy, the
That
pinky
was
up.
the Ray.
Yeah.
I was wondering about the
I was
pinky
wondering
up
what that
over there.
was.
No, that's
You can't mimic that, okay?
Yeah,
It's
no,
got to
he's
be an
got-
art.
and then Christmas Story. That's another one that we watch every year too.
Yep, that's a good one. You know, one I'll throw out here that you guys probably have not seen, and I think it's a sleeper one that's funny and worth watching, but there's a Grumpy Cat Christmas movie that's actually pretty funny.
Never seen it.
Oh, yeah. It's
Never
it's
heard of
cheesy. It's a Lifetime movie. It's totally low budget, and it's actually the real Grumpy Cat before the cat died, because I don't know if you know that, but sorry to say, Grumpy Cat is dead. But,
Are you talking about Garfield?
Oh, no.
No, the actual Grumpy Cat. But Grumpy Cat Christmas, and it is a funny movie. It's one we've added to our Christmas movies. I think maybe 2-3 years ago was the first time we saw it, and it's pretty darn funny.
I think I'm going to have to put my second movie, well, past all the Home Alones, let's put like second category. And this will probably show my age a little bit, but I used to remember sitting down with my grandma. She's passed by now, but I sat down and watched Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh,
The
man.
black
I
and white
forget-
one.
Yes.
I like that one. That one, it was pretty cool.
That was another one of those grandpa moments. we'd always watch for Grandpa.
There's another one. I don't remember the guy's name, but he played Fievel or was whatever, but where he died, or I can't think of the name right now, but it's like one of them ghosts of Christmas things, but he comes back. It's a black and white movie, but I can't think of the name right now. But
Wouldn't have been It's a Wonderful Life.
yes, yes,
That's my favorite one.
yes, yes.
There you
We
go.
got Jed in there.
There's Jed.
No,
That's a good
but now
one.
I'm showing my age.
But that one's older than
Yeah.
Miracle 31st Street, so now you. No, I'm just
Yeah.
joking.
Well, and I'm not that old, but the reason I really liked it
Tell the
is-
truth, you're in church.
I am older than you, but I'm not that old. But it's James Stewart, the guy that
Yes.
he reminds me
Yeah.
of my mother's uncle so much that I really just like to watch that show.
Yeah.
So
I will tell you this, and it's probably weird, but if I hear his voice, I'll stop for a minute and watch the show. It just
Yeah.
something about his voice makes the movie for me, and that's pretty cool. Yeah.
What about Grinch? Is that one of those
Oh,
movies?
yeah, I like Grinch.
The not the cartoon one.
No.
The actual one.
Mm-hmm. I like that one.
It's a good one too.
You have never watched that?
You've never seen it?
Probably bits and pieces of it.
Bits and pieces. 'Cause I just don't get into movies like that. I don't like cartoons and stuff like that either.
Yeah, that's not one that I mean, I'm not saying I don't like it, but that's not on my list. But I'll tell you one I do like to watch that I used to watch all the time when I was a kid with my dad, and I'm trying to bring it back, but my wife's not a huge fan. But Scrooged with, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank on his name. The guy from Ghostbusters. Can't think of it right now, but.
I don't remember either.
of course you can't leave out Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, yeah.
The little claymation type one, the cartoon one. I like that.
That was
Jed's like, I'm not that old.
Yeah, I'm that old.
that was one that my mom always liked watching. So
Yeah.
I remember that. I never really got into it, but she liked it, so I'd sit and watch it with her just because, I'm a good son.
It's the same thing for 45, 50, 60 years.
It's never changed.
Never changed.
What about music? Christmas music?
Bill Murray,
Bill
come
Murray.
on now.
Oh,
No,
Bill
I'm
Murray.
playing nice here. Bill Murray. No.
What about Christmas music? When do you start playing that, blasting that, whatever you want to?
As soon as the radio starts playing it.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
it's probably like the day after Christmas.
The day after Christmas?
Yeah. I mean, the day after Thanksgiving, sorry.
I wish it was the day before.
Yep.
What kind of Christmas music you guys into?
So
I'll go first. I'll say Elvis. I love Elvis Christmas
okay,
music.
yeah. So I listen to Zach Williams a lot. He's from Jonesboro, Arkansas, so kind of a home state.
So you guys like
Kinda boy.
cousins or something? Or
No, we're not related. We're not related. I don't know him personally at all.
Oh, you
He's
don't?
kinda
I'll
cool. No.
introduce you to him.
But he's a Christian artist.
Yeah.
But he's kind of got like this country blues jazz vibe mix.
I've seen him in concert.
His new Christmas album that's out right now is that's what I've been playing a lot because it's that mix of a jazz blues sound, and it's like Mary Did You Know, instead of that slow, it's like very upbeat. He's got horns going in it, and it's like, all right, yeah. So
I have to listen to it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I've seen him in concert here in Bentonville. Him and a few others I don't remember.
Was
but
that when
they-
he was with Ann Wilson? And
Good band.
that's Taylor's favorite artist right now.
What's the?
She's
only
got a
can
good-
imagine, fellers.
Mercy Me.
Yeah, they were there, and then something. I can't remember what the name of them. We talked about it once, but I can't think of the name. There was 3 or 4 different bands there. But yeah, they put on a pretty good concert.
There's another song. It's new, and like when I say new, within the last week, and it's Ann Wilson and Josh Turner. Ann Wilson's another one of those. She's a female Christian singer, but kind of has a country vibe to her. And it's called The Manger. If you ever get a chance to go listen to that.
I like Josh Turner.
Oh yeah,
His
I do
voice
too.
is like-
I do too. Yeah,
That's cool.
I like him too. But yeah, it's
I was a man like him. Have that cool
Yeah.
voice.
I wish you were a man too.
Yeah, me too.
he was one of those guys like I sang bass in the school choir and in the youth choir, and I was like, I wish I could sing like him.
Mama sang Tanner. Oh,
And I never could.
nah, sorry.
But-
I got music
No, you're
stuck
good.
in my head now.
Jed, what about you? Christmas music.
He don't like it.
Nope.
You like the Beach Boys.
I grew up in the time where you didn't have satellite radio, and so the day after Thanksgiving, every radio station played Christmas music till Christmas.
Did they have music back when you was
Yeah.
a kid? Okay. Well, I was just kind of wondering.
And
I didn't
I
know-
was doing a lot of driving back in.
I didn't know they had horses or radios on horses.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
It was the banjos in the front yard.
Oh, that's right.
But when you've heard Jingle Bells or whatever for the 13th time in one day, it didn't take long to get it gets on your nerves a little bit.
Yeah, like that
yeah.
that old traditional Christmas music. I'm like, I'm kind of over it.
Yeah.
You know,
I
like,
kind of grew into George Strait's New Kid in Town. I liked that one. That was something different I never
I
heard.
don't think I've heard that one.
Oh, it's pretty good.
I'll look it up.
It's older than you, so you might need to look it
I
back.
listened
No,
to. I grew up listening
Yeah.
to 80s and 90s music. It's fine.
But no,
I was born in the 90s.
I
actually,
heard it as a
1990.
kid, and I haven't heard it in a while, but it's pretty good.
What'd you say, 1999?
No, 1990.
Oh.
Yeah,
To be that young again.
I'm the youngest one.
But the oldest one in, like, by heart.
Oh, me for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Like it's. I got about an hour and a half before I need to be in bed, guys.
I'm already past my bedtime.
Needs to get his warm milk and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cornbread or
Taylor
something.
laughs at me. I got a red plaid blanket that no matter the temperature I put over my legs when I'm sitting in my recliner, drinking my black coffee, read the newspaper, watch the news. Yeah, that's me. I am an old soul. When we lived in Bradley,
Where's my reading glasses?
no,
Puppy on the lap.
Yeah.
well, he's too big for my lap. He sits beside me. But Taylor would laugh when we lived down in Bradley because I'd sit there at the table eating my toast, drinking my black coffee, and reading the newspaper every morning. That was my morning tradition.
In his house slippers.
I was just going to say that, too.
Now, there's nothing
I got-
wrong with
I got-
house
I
slippers.
got
Those
two
are nice.
pairs.
yeah, I would say I wear house slippers
Yeah,
every day.
I got two pairs
all
of
the
them.
time.
I'm telling you,
I take
I'm
my
an
flip flops
old
off and
soul.
put house shoes on, and then put my flip flops back on.
Well, when you got multiple dogs too, you kind of have to, otherwise your feet just covered in dog hair. So
in
Yeah,
bed,
you
but,
guys grew up with Mr. Rogers, huh? Is that what-
yeah.
for sure.
Pee Wee Herman too.
right.
Captain Kangaroo.
I grew up at the end of his hair, so I didn't get much of it.
Yeah, like I remember the show, but I don't remember the show. Like I know it existed, but yeah, Pee Wee's Playhouse came in and kind of kicked that right to the curb. So
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, the black and white version.
I've watched a few of those.
I have two
We
kids, so it's
we
fine.
probably knew that.
We digressed. Back to Christmas.
just a little bit.
Back to Christmas.
Mickey Mouse had to have Christmas sometime too.
He did. He did. Didn't he have a Christmas show? I don't know.
Hello, you're the youngest one here. You tell us.
Hey, Jed, on Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, did he have a Christmas episode?
I don't remember.
I'll tell you a funny Christmas episodes to watch though is Red Green. Have you ever watched any of the Red Green show? Oh, that yeah. If the women don't
No, I
find
don't
you
think I
handsome, at
have.
least they'll find you handy. Oh, it's a darn good show.
That guy's so funny.
I guess I haven't seen
Yep.
that.
Duct tape, the handyman's helper.
I'm gonna
He
have to
fixes everything with duct tape.
The Red Green Show?
Red Green Show. Yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, he did. The best part of every episode is whenever they always did some sort of like working on a car. They were going to modify a car in some way, and the only thing they used was duct tape. So it would never work, but it was just great.
Hey,
You
if you
need to watch that.
if you can use it on an airplane, you can use it on a car. It's fine.
Duct tape's better than wiring.
Did y'all growing up in church, did y'all ever do like church Christmas traditions? Like we always did a candlelight service Christmas Eve.
We always did a Christmas play.
Oh yeah.
As kids, we're
I forget about
always in the
that.
play. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd Christmas carol and do a play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Christmas Carol. Yeah. And play, yes.
We never did that. That started up actually after I got married. We started doing that a couple years ago with Taylor's family after we moved up here. So we'll go out Christmas caroling. I was like, who are you guys? We've never, y'all have never spoke of this. What is this? But
Yeah, I remember as a kid, I did this one year. We lived in a neighborhood growing up, and man, I forget what they're called now. There's a little bag with a candle in it. You put sand in there, the luminaires, or
the luminaire,
luminaires, or
luminaires, or something like that. Yeah.
So one year, I decided I was going to go. That was back, when everyone rollerbladed, right? As kids, that's what we did. We rollerblade everywhere, and so I went around door to door collecting like fancy. I think it was like $5 or something like that per neighbor, and I said, "Yeah, Christmas Eve, I'm going to come here. I'm going to light the whole street down with these luminaires, right?" And I remember this one neighbor, though. It's just funny because I brought this up. I remember this one neighbor, and she wouldn't give me $5. You're going to use that for something else. You're not going to do that. La, la. I think it's like, you're going to use that for drugs. And I'm like, okay.
As a kid.
Right.
Look at you now.
Yeah. Right. And so when I was doing that, I skipped her house. And everyone else had all these luminaires all down the road. And she came out and says, "Oh, I thought you were just joking." And I was like, "That's okay. I'll be nice." I put some in front of her house. Well, when I was done, it was weird. But the neighborhood went like this, and it was shaped like J for Jesus.
Oh, cool.
That was I didn't plan that. I'm like, just all the way down the street. But yeah, when I was done, it turned out like J like Jesus. And it was cool. Just rollerblade around and relight the candles or put new candles in.
Oh, that's cool.
That was pretty cool. I remember that as a kid.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
It's too much snow in Minnesota for any of that nonsense.
Yo, I like rollerblading or what?
Both.
So you did ice skating?
Oh yeah, by that point it'd be full on ice skating, that's for sure.
You should just have the snowmobiles out.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, I lived in the suburbs, so they didn't let you drive snowmobiles around where I was at. But yeah,
Who are they?
I mean,
Jeez.
only if they catch you.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I remember that as a kid. We were just talking about it. It just clicked in my head. I remember doing that.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, the Christmas play every year.
Every year. Did they ever change it, or was it always the same Christmas play?
It was always the same.
Always, man.
You can't change a story.
Well, no, but like,
Come on, Pastor.
It's rode out.
yeah, kind of established.
multiple times.
How much
actually,
more do you want?
No, because like, like anytime they would write up a drama and add the story into it, like sometimes it would be like Grandpa sitting in the rocking chair telling the story, and the kids sitting around, and then like actors would portray out the actual story. And
We didn't have that kind of imagination. We just went by the
straight
book.
over there.
And I was always a wise man. That was weird.
I was always a
That doesn't
shepherd.
make any sense at all.
Well, I can say that I'm old enough that we actually even done that at school too,
Oh yeah.
and it was the actual deal. I was a sheep for 3 years.
Was
That makes sense.
You little short kid standing over there being sheep.
Was that back in a one-room schoolhouse?
No,
Oh, 2 rooms.
I'll say they had 2 rooms.
They had 2 rooms.
We
Sorry
talking about that. I was in the
My
barn.
it was just under the oak tree. Come on.
bad. Oh, yeah.
I know Jed probably can probably attest to this, but I don't know about you guys. But did you guys ever get that old Christmas candy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the ribbon candy and all that stuff.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Throw
my
it in a
grandparents
paper
loved
bag
that.
and it all stuck together.
It's just
One piece.
I still got nightmares.
Yeah, nobody ate any of that stuff ever, did they? It all just sat there.
The fruit cake or whatever.
Well, if you tried to eat it, you had to do it like an apple or like an ice cream cone. You just picked it,
You just
hold it
picked
like
it
an
up,
apple,
yeah.
lick.
Man.
They would always have candy
You didn't
canes
have
on the
that?
tree at church.
I don't think so. That's candy canes.
Yeah.
And then what's a little candy corn? Yeah,
Oh, there was
At
always
Halloween time. Yeah.
bags of candy that it looked like it was from the 1950s when Jed was a kid. He brought it back to us.
You're a few years off.
Took you a while to come back.
The 40s. The 40s.
Yeah. You were the sheep.
I was sure glad to pass that costume off.
Hey, on
Took
the
all 15 years of school, but I did it.
Jed, on the 21st, we're telling the Christmas story to the kids. I need a sheep.
Bah.
He's professional.
No, we always had a tree at church. They would do like the big, like tall trees in our big foyer atrium area, and they would hide Christmas trees, or not Christmas trees,
Hide
But-
trees in the tree.
candy canes. They would hide candy canes, and that was always a game. Was you tried to find the candy canes, but of course, adults would always hide the candy canes at pie, so the kids couldn't get to it. I was like, you jerks.
We always went to the. Well, I shouldn't say always, but for quite a few years, we'd go to this a big church that was near the cities, and they had they called it the singing Christmas tree. So they had this huge stage set up in the shape of a Christmas tree, where I think the person at the top, who was like the star, the solo singer who was up there, was probably 30, 40 feet in the air. So it was a really large, and they'd have different colored robes and different colored candles or different things to kind of make it look like it was a decorated tree, but everybody in it was a big choir, and so they'd sing a bunch of Handel's Messiah and all the big Christmas songs and
Sing
stuff
what?
like that. Handel's Messiah.
That's not one we ever sang in a Baptist church.
Well, yeah, probably not, but it's all right. It's still it is a Christmas song.
Can you sing it?
No,
No.
I do not know the words. I do not. I mean, I could, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to send.
Jed would
torture
talk
anybody to
fast
that.
if you sing.
But, and there'd be a whole bunch of others too. But it was just it was a big Christmas choir concert we'd go to. It was at a different church than the one we went to, but
That's kind of cool.
yeah, it was. I remember enjoying it even as a little kid. I remember it being a fun event to go to.
It's neat.
You know what I hated as a kid, though?
What?
When church was on Christmas.
Oh.
Like on a Sunday.
You mean like this year?
Yeah, like this year. But as a kid, I was
Yeah.
so like, you can't open presents until after church. You're like, no.
But when church is at 11 o'clock,
Right.
you got plenty of time. So,
Shame on you.
I know.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Many
Way-
of
way to be
shames over all
selfish.
many of years.
do what?
Many of shames over all them years.
Our church in Hawaii does they do Christmas Eve a service every Christmas Eve, no matter what day of the week it is, and it's one of those big candlelight.
Yeah, the big
services.
candlelight.
We
Light all
used
the
to
candles, sing a
here.
bunch of songs.
Huh?
We used to here. I don't know if we've done it since COVID, but we used to have the
Y'all-
candlelight.
It hasn't happened since I've been here.
Really?
Yeah. I don't ever remember.
Maybe it's your fault. But
Oh, maybe you can start it back up, Randy.
We can start it
I
back up.
don't know anything about it. I don't play with fire. I get went to bed. Come on, Ray.
He's not allowed to touch fire anymore. I was gonna say, but
He swallowed fire one too many times.
That would be cool to have a Christmas Eve service.
The Christmas Eve service? Yeah.
Well, I guess there's a conversation with Brother Roger coming up. Then.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd be happy for it.
I think we can do that. 'Cause, I mean,
I mean, we do have a kind of a pastor that can walk in there and talk to everybody too,
like, huh?
like you.
Do what?
Huh? Raise your hand.
Me?
I can do this all night. Go.
Because like Christmas Day, we're not doing Sunday school. We're just going to do a service. That way you can, for the kids.
Oh, for the kids now.
So,
Oh,
the
yeah.
ki-
Oh, wow.
yeah,
You
we-
changed the world
Yeah.
with your whining. No.
It only takes
No.
one.
we used to do the candlelight, and I think the previous pastor he would read the Christmas story to the kids up on stage.
Yeah.
And then they'd decorate the Christmas tree, and then that might not have been Christmas Eve, but that might have been around that area.
Around that
Yeah.
time, yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of something that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah. I mean, I remember him reading the Christmas story and decorating the tree, but I don't ever remember doing candlelight with it.
They used to do like
don't know.
what they call it every Sunday, where they'd light one candle.
Yeah. I don't know.
Advent, is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
We used to do that. I don't know. I don't remember. Been hit in the head too many times. I don't remember anything.
Slept since then.
Well, you're not imagining it. I remember it.
Jed remembers.
Good. The oldest one here still remembers. So I feel good.
Well,
I might have the better memory of the bunch too.
Like a sheep.
Oh man.
I'm just joking, Jed. Don't hurt me.
Well, that's
It's just a
probably gives
joke.
us a decent little segue into part 2 of this, is talking about the the tax
Yeah,
on Christmas,
yeah.
the changes on Christmas, and how things have kind of slid in a lot of places. Huh?
That's one of the things, like teaching, being a teacher in school and a pastor at the same time is it's almost a struggle, because I remember when they switched from calling it Christmas break to winter break, right? It was Christmas break, and then it was holiday break, and then it was now winter break. But I still say Christmas break. And like when the kids leave, I say, "Hey, Merry Christmas. I'll see y'all, in January." And no one has said anything to me. The kids say it back, but I don't know. It's our culture has just gotten so. What's the word I'm looking for?
Canceled.
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
I mean, it has. It's gotten so canceled that just because Christ is in the name of Christmas, which is what Christmas is all about, is Christ.
You're right.
Well,
and that's what got me thinking was when I was talking to you, Ray, about, you sending emails out. If you want to explain that real quick, but, that's what got me thinking about it.
Well, yeah, and that was, we were just talking the other night, and it was one of the things that after I got saved, I've been doing a job that I do a lot of email and text communication with people, sometimes hundreds a day. And one of the things that I threw back in right away is, I'd slipped into the saying happy holidays to just try to be nice and not offend anybody, right? But I don't understand how me saying Merry Christmas could be offensive to somebody. If you don't celebrate Christmas, so what? That's fine. You don't celebrate Christmas. I don't see how that would actually truly hurt you. I think there's a lot of fake offense that people throw out there now because it's in to be offended, right? If you can be offended about something, then everybody gives you the likes and the clicks and the shares nowadays. And so one of the things I've just pushed back in, and I will say I do throw them all in there, just again to still try to be fair to everybody, because I don't know if they celebrate Christmas. So I'll say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, and just make sure I throw them all in. So my email signature since the day after Thanksgiving, when every sign off, every message end, or every end of every message ends with, have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and a Happy New Year. So, it's small, but it's like that tiny little, that's the first battle to start fighting, I think, is just making sure that it's fine. If somebody else wants to say Happy Holidays, great. I'm going to say Merry Christmas.
Mm-hmm. That's how I am too. I'll say Merry Christmas now until the end of Christmas, but I think sometimes too, we need to take a stand. Yeah. Because this is, like I said, I think it's a war on Christmas, and I think I read a stat in here that really, to be offensive to people when you brought that up, was really 3% was offensive about it. 3%. Yeah. That ain't nothing. But, and then, you ever get that too, where like you tell somebody Merry Christmas, like, oh yeah, Merry Christmas, man, that's awesome. Yeah. Or God bless, or, stuff like that. They're like, yeah, it just brings a different, joy to them. And that's where we need to be too, that, we can't let this cancel culture of Christmas affect us, affect our joy and why we actually celebrate Christmas. I know we talked about all the traditions and all the movies and all that stuff, it's just, yeah, I mean, a lot of us like that. But in the second part of this, next week or two, that we're going to talk about the real reason why we celebrate Christmas. Mm-hmm. But I feel that we get so much pressure onto us as Christians too when Christmas comes around. Because, you get that cancel culture of happy holidays, winter break. I'm going to push that down your throat. Mm-hmm. No, you know what? I'm not going to take it. I'm going to tell you Merry Christmas. You know, I'm going to say this is Christmas break. This is, you know, and I know you're in a tough position as being a school teacher because I'd probably be fired by now. But, you know, it's just.
I would. Yeah. I definitely would be.
I would be too. But I mean, it's a tough position to be in. You know, when you take a stand for something, yeah, you're going to get a lot of pushback. But I think there's more people out there that want to say Christmas than there are that don't.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. But
Well,
I could be wrong.
And
But I think
we've let the little bit that gets offended speak for everyone.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like they've been the loudest. And so we've just kind of.
We just kind of take it.
Yeah. And we can't do that.
No.
Yeah.
And we gotta pass that down to our kids, and that's what I'm trying to do too. Is I'm trying to pass down the real reason for Christmas, our real reason, you know, our real traditions for Christmas, you know, is Jesus. And I'm passing that down to my kids so that they could pass that down to theirs. We got to keep that going for generation to generation. It's biblical. We got to pass it to generation. And if it stops with us, I don't know. I mean, I don't like that. I don't want it to stop with me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And I think they over-exaggerate. As you said, 3% are the ones that get offended. You wouldn't know that if you didn't look at the stat.
Right.
You know, you'd think it's every other person, and you're
Right.
half the people or something crazy. I think there is a concerted effort out there now to make it seem like we are in the minority, and I don't think we are.
No.
I do not think that this whole cancel culture, as you're saying, it's the smallest piece. It's the squeaky wheel, as they say, but we have to understand that there's more people who stand with us, and we need to stand together with other people. If we see someone who's being, you know, persecuted or attacked for their belief in Christmas and in Jesus, if we stood up and stood next to them, you know, that's one of the things I think we need to take a little bit more of a stand on. We don't need to cause any trouble. We're not going to, you know, fight over it, but to just stand up and say, actually, I believe the same thing you do. I'm with you on this.
Right.
Yeah, the true spirit of Christmas lies in your heart. I think what that means is basically if you don't have the Holy Spirit or Jesus, knowing that Jesus came into a manger for us, I don't think you can take that stand. You're just going to be jumping on the bandwagon like they are now. So at this point, I think the Spirit lies with the individuals here.
Yeah, it is.
And like you said, take the stand. So stand by those people as well.
But in love.
In love.
You know, we got to take it in love, you know, and that's why like I say all the time, the overpopulated Bible verse is John 3:16, but it's so true though. I mean, it's God so loved the world, right? That's Christmas. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, right? Yep. I mean, that is it. It's out of love for us.
Right.
And that's when we take that stand, it has to be for love. You know, we're just saying, hey, this is what we believe, and this is what we're taking a stand for.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pass it on to my kids, and hopefully they pass it on to theirs.
And we've got to do it, though, in a way that's in a loving way, right? Like in 1 John, right, John says that if you do things not in love, you're no better than a noisy gong.
Right.
Right? Or a clanging cymbal. And so I think that's where you're trying, what you're
That's
saying,
exactly
right?
it. Yeah. I mean, that's why.
You got to say it with, you got to do it with love.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll throw this out there too with that conversation. My idea of Christmas, whether old-fashioned or modern, is very simple: love others.
Mm-hmm.
So
like I think back to my sister was dating this guy in high school, and Christmas every year, instead of getting gifts, he would gather up whatever clothes he had that he just didn't wear anymore and take and give to like kids in the high school.
Yeah.
You know, and as a teenager, I was like, man, that is so cool that you are embracing what Christmas is really all about. It's about giving back to others.
That's it.
But that's not.
Sometimes we kind of lose sight of that.
Yeah.
You know, we get busy and we just kind of be like, oh, it's the Christmas is for our kids. But, you know, some of us are, you know, fortunate enough to say, hey, you know what? We're going to give a little bit back. And I know some of you know this, but now you're all going to know this. But for that men's or for the car show thing, we're going to buy presents for the kids. So that's what we kind of was on going to do for giving back.
Cool.
Yeah, was it the Christmas angel tree or
Yeah,
something that we're doing? The angel tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to pick some kids that need some toys and just go and buy them toys. And, there's some people that are suffering right now. It's been a bad couple of years for people, and just want to give back and have that joy and that love brought to them that we can do.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need to pass that on to other people where, start, you take that stand, and we take that stand of giving back. Yep. People just need to step up and kind of give back. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I'm just saying, we just need to give back a little bit.
That's where it starts.
That's where it starts. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
and people are good about giving back, like on that red kettle deal that Salvation Army does. I see people all the time that'll drop their spare change in there. Mm-hmm. And that's because that's something that's in their face, But it's like when it's not right there where somebody's out there ringing a bell, that's where you got to step up. Like, yeah, it's great to give to the Salvation Army. They do good stuff, but what about those people that aren't out there ringing a bell, aren't right there in front of you? The ones you got to seek out to find.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's, start with them.
Right. Yeah, because, that's I think the important thing, as Derek mentioned, we're trying to honor the gift that God gave us by giving what we can in return. Yeah. And we'll never be able to give as much or give in the same way, but I think that's something we're really trying to instill in our daughter too, that it's not about what you get, it's about what you give and what you can share with others. And even if you don't have money, then time. There's this is the perfect time of year to go and volunteer for some homeless people, or go volunteer at a toy drive. If you can't even get the toys, they still need people to take them, sort them, load them in trucks, here's boys' toys, here's girls' toys. There's tons of places you can plug into. The moving company I used to work with, every year we would be the trucks that we would offer our trucks up to ferry the toys from the donation sites to the delivery locations. So it was really cool to see how much actually gets donated, because we'd load these 26-foot trucks just full of toys of all shapes and sizes, for weeks on end, just hauling tons and tons of toys. And then, they'd go to a central location, and there'd be a whole bunch of people there, just, again, sorting it all out, figuring out which is going which way, which age groups, and all that.
Was that for, like, Toys for Tots?
Yep, that was Toys for Tots. Yep.
Which it goes on right about this time anyways,
yep,
right? In
December
time,
it does.
They do a big Toys for Tots drive.
Yep, so even if you don't have money, you don't need money. There's time is more precious than money.
Yeah.
It's something you can do. Even if you aren't comfortable going out and giving to people you don't know, I'm sure you've got some elderly relatives who could just use a visit, and just spend some time with them and give them your time. It's about just remembering those gifts. I think that's one of the reasons why too, part of the Christmas story is these gifts that were given to Jesus, as a little baby, and granted, he didn't need them or anything like that, but he was given some incredibly precious gifts. I mean, gold, frankincense, and myrrh were ridiculously wealthy and expensive back then. Yeah, I mean, it is right off of Randy's notes.
Quit looking all the way over here.
He tried a smaller type point this time, so I couldn't read it. But no, it's.
I like the sayings that go after that. Like you said, the gold, the kingship of Jesus; frankincense, the deity of Jesus; and myrrh, the death of Jesus. Mm-hmm, so I like the saying. I've only heard that once preaching, and then when I seen that, it brought back up that memory. I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool to know what those gifts in meaning meant.
Yeah.
They had They had a back meaning to them.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, I got some other stuff that I'd kind of looked up because I know some of the things that I've heard lately is a lot of people are attacking Christmas with well, this is actually what it means, or you guys are just taking a pagan holiday and turning it into Christmas. And that's completely not true, actually. Any of these things people try to fight back on. So I don't want to like hijack, but I just wanted to make sure I get these in at some point. Because one of the biggest ones I've heard from a lot of people, especially when I was in the New Age movement, was that Christmas is just Saturnalia, right? It's just this Roman holiday that they changed and put in the name of Christmas. Actually, Saturnalia is on December 17th. That's the day of Saturnalia, and it went a week at most. It lasted, yes, sometimes to the 23rd, but that was just because they liked to party, and it was completely different type of festival than what Christmas is. So it had nothing to do with it. And there's other people, of course, say, "Oh, well, Jesus wasn't born on that day," and it's like, yeah, we know that. That's not why we celebrate it on that day. We don't know why they picked that day. They did at some point. Who knows? There's actually some good evidence that actually may have been when the Magi visited Jesus, because that's the one thing we kind of fudge a little in the story, that they show up at the manger. That's not what the Bible says.
He was 2 years old.
Yeah,
in the house.
or about 2 years old. Yeah, he was older at that point, and there's actually some evidence that it could have been anywhere from 9 months to 2 years is what I'd heard is when he showed up. So this could have been when the Magi arrived to visit Jesus. We don't really know. There's also, again, not going too many rabbit holes, but that. There's people try to compare and say that, even all the story of Jesus doesn't line up with what we say about it, and they try to map it to these other different gods. But when you look into the stories, if you actually look into it, there's no evidence, no source material that actually lines up with what these other gods are supposedly, small g gods, if we'll say in small g's. They don't match at all either. And it's just they're grasping at straws, but the way the world works nowadays, people see it on Facebook. They see a post that says, "Oh, Jesus is really just this," or "Christmas is just really just that," and then they do no deeper digging than that whatsoever. And they say, "Well, I saw it on Facebook. It's got to be what it is." And if you said it like that, you sound stupid.
TikTok. But it's funny that you mentioned that Toys for Tot too, because Randy was like, "How are you going to bring up law enforcement and Christmas?"
Toys for Tots.
Shop with a cop.
Yeah,
that's what I did.
Yeah,
that's what I did all the time when I was a cop. Yeah, I mean, you're right though. When you said that, we can give time. Mm-hmm. We have, you can find time to give time. So that's what I used to do.
You brought up the question a while ago, how to keep Christ in Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got a quote for that.
Okay.
Want to keep Christ in Christmas? Feed the hungry, clothe the naked, forgive the guilty, welcome the unwanted, care for the ill, love your enemies, and do unto others as you would have done unto you.
Mm-hmm. Well done, my good
servant. And I'll tell you, that's hard to do all of them.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very hard. I'm not saying that I do all that. I'm just, we just need to start doing some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to go with what Derek said and what you just said, Randy, he said you got to make time and you got to do it out of love and everything. Sometimes the people that need the most help are humble, and they're not the ones that are out there. That's up for us to seek and to know and to serve them, because they're not going to come and ask for help nowhere.
Yep.
And it's in our hearts, and for us to go and seek them out.
I've got one for time too, but go ahead.
There's that tie back to Home Alone. The old guy in Home Alone who was the loner that nobody talked to, and it turned out he just needed a little kid to give him a little Christmas cheer.
Yeah. Yep. I've got this. Christmas is the day that holds all time together. There's your time one. Mm-hmm. And then hold up, I've got one right here for you.
Wait, there's more.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. It's right there. See, I'm not making it up. That's
Got
awesome.
another one?
Well, I do. You guys were talking about the let me find it and I'll explain myself here better. Yeah. We were talking about the Christmas story and carols and stuff a while ago, and it's this one here says, if we keep telling the Christmas story and singing the Christmas songs and living the Christmas spirit, we can bring joy and happiness and peace back to this world. And I think if we, like you were talking, take a stand and just keep it out there, I don't think it's ever going to go away. we just keep going and going and going. I mean, it's just like everybody else is doing with all their other negativity and such. I mean, we have to hear it. Well, we can say it too in a joyful way. Not negativity. That's not where I was going with that. But
That was like my old church that we went to in Arizona. That they would go to the nursing homes and sing carols. So it's just given time. I mean, we're all guilty of it. I mean, I'm preaching to myself. Really, that's what I'm talking. No one individually. I'm just, I need to do more too.
Yeah.
Well,
like you go somewhere and they're like, "Happy holidays," and you're usually in a rush, so you just go, "Yeah, you too," right? And that's the moment that we go, "Oh, Merry Christmas."
Yeah.
Right. That's what, and I mean that's me, dude. Like I don't know. I, for some reason, I always feel like I'm in a rush when I'm really not. And so it's like when I'm leaving a store and they're like, "Happy holidays," I go, "Yeah, you too," and I just walk out.
Right.
What'd you say to me? Oh,
Yeah, right.
No.
Yeah.
I'm taking a stand. Merry Christmas.
Jesus is crying right now.
Say it right. Say it right.
Right.
But no, I mean that's
Right.
it's like you said, we just kind of let it overtake us.
Yeah, we don't need to go to the extremes either.
Right.
You have the Christian extremes out there
Right.
that are.
But there's a time and place.
There is,
And it's always going to be a battle, but you can always choose that battle. It's not always happening, and I'm learning this because I love running my mouth. But you don't always have to say something.
Right.
Right.
Your actions is just as equal to something said
Well,
at a certain time.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't have to say stuff like what the extremes do. Someone says happy holidays to you, you just walk out and go, "Yeah, Merry Christmas."
That's it.
And just keep it very,
That's it.
very,
so much
very,
fun,
very
Daniel,
humble and
please.
meek.
Yeah. Throwing this Bible at you.
I've seen
Sinner.
Thump thump.
right. I've seen a lot of people get offended over the Merry Xmas.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, the Greek letter X means Chi, which means Christ. So in Greek, Chi is Christ, right? Or the X is Christ. And so I'm like, they're not dissing on Christmas. They're just,
Yeah. I didn't know that.
yeah, yeah.
I learned something.
There you go.
I seen
learned
that
it.
today, but yeah, that's pretty cool that you brought that up. Now I remember.
Yeah. So
That reminds me, so I brought up something I heard about today that, Kris Kringle. You heard that when people try to refer to that meaning
yeah, Kris Kringle.
Santa Claus?
Yeah.
Actually, it was brought, Kris Kringle is German and it means Christ child.
Yeah.
And they started saying it because they thought that they were losing St. Nicholas and all that was taking too much attention away from Jesus. So they started saying Kris Kringle or instead, or something close to Kris Kringle anyway. And then now it's back and people think that means Santa Claus.
Yeah. Well, wasn't the gift giving to kids, wasn't that a church saint, Saint Nick anyways, right?
Yeah, according to the story anyway. Although,
Yeah.
I mean, the actual story is a little interesting. But yeah, he was a very wealthy man when his parents passed away, and he gave all his money away to the poor, and then became a priest or some
A
sort of
patron
monk.
of the church
Yep,
or something
yep.
like that. Yeah.
And then as the original story went, and some people will know that he apparently put some money in some kids' socks. Well, the actual story from Germany, and German stories are always a little bit darker than you think they are. That's a whole other topic. But he actually put money threw sacks of gold in through the window of 3 young girls to prevent them from having to become women of the night or prostitutes. So there was that. And then there's a darker story too, even where he had to rescue them from some sort of dungeon.
Yeah, we'll
or
just stick with the fact that he's stuck.
I'm just saying his story's a little interesting.
But yeah, I mean, the whole sticking money in socks,
Right.
The stockings hung with care and giving gifts, and you're learning a lot of stuff. aren't you?
I'm learning.
Well, I got a master's, so
Oh yeah, that's that where it came from.
Hey, Derek.
I wrote a term paper on Xmas.
Hey, Derek.
defending my doctorate.
Silly Santa, Christmas is for Jesus.
That's a good one. That is a good one. And just little things too. I was, out buying some more Christmas lights. We needed a couple more Christmas lights. And one of the things that I really quickly noticed is that at the, and I don't need to name which big box store it was, but there wasn't a single manger in the place. It was all deer and Santas and snowmen.
Yeah.
There was no manger at all to be had.
A lot of them have gone to that. Yeah. I mean, it's almost impossible to find.
Yeah, I've realized I'm going to have to
store.
build my own. I'm literally just going to have to get some wood and build up my own shapes and do something because I'm sure I'd probably go online and find one, but you never know what that's actually going to look like when you get it.
It comes from China.
Oh, yeah, right. It's true. It's true.
You got a saw now.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I do. Thanks to one of my friends.
Yeah. There you go.
I had an awesome stocking quote for you. Now I can't find it.
Oh, man.
And I'll paraphrase it, but let me make sure I don't have it because it was funny the way it was written. I'll just paraphrase it. I don't got it. Oh, there it is.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Christmas, the only time of year you can sit in front of a dead tree eating candy out of a sock.
Sorry, my watch was going off.
Did you not hear that?
No. You said my heart rate was up. He's like, brrr, brrr.
Talking about Christmas, he's stoked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was like eating candy from a dead tree.
In front of a dead tree out of a sock.
I said, Christmas, the only time of year you can sit in front of a dead tree eating candy out of a sock.
Yeah. That's a good one.
There's your stocking.
Thank you.
That's pretty good.
Now for wrapping paper, I showed you this. No matter how old you are, an empty Christmas wrapping paper tube is still a fun thing to walk over somebody's head.
Yeah. That brings up a good story, though.
We would sword fight with those.
Yeah.
All the time.
We went to Michigan for Christmas one year. That's where my dad's family's from, and they didn't have a lot of money for presents for kids. I think it was one of the uncles, right? And they made all the kids like guns out of those tubes.
Yeah.
It was so cool. I mean, they're awesome. They had like a machine gun. They had a pistol, a shotgun, and I'm like, man, these are so cool. But yeah, thanks
cool.
for that.
Yeah.
My dog plays with those. Like the tubes. Like after you get done using the wrapping paper, it never fails. He knows when I'm about done wrapping a gift. And I'm at the end of the paper on the tube, and he'll come up, and as soon as it empties out, he grabs the tube and he's gone.
Yeah.
And he's walking through the house like he's got a big stick and just.
My wife hates when I say that. I sit here and go, I got somebody to wrap my presents for me. You can't even take the time to wrap my presents? Did you see my wrapping job?
That's what gift bags are for.
That's how I met my wife, though, just to let you know. Wrapping presents.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't try to wrap yourself, did you?
No. So I bought some Christmas gifts for my mom, and this is the way back in the day when I worked at Dillard's in their security, and then this is when Crystal worked as a gift wrapper at Dillard's. It's just a side job because she moved, to Arizona for her job and had nobody, no friends, no nothing. So she did a part-time job wrapping gifts. And so I bought those presents for my mom, had her gift wrap them, and so then the next day I gave her a card and says, "Oh, thank you for wrapping my gifts." That's where it started.
It's a Hallmark love story.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
Sparkle was in the eye.
Right.
The Dillard security guard.
The Dillard security guy with a gift wrapper.
Live happily ever after.
That's how it was. Hey, man.
It's a holiday
I
show.
like you. Yeah.
That's some nice wrapping paper.
Your hair's pretty.
Right.
Well, I'll throw this out there since you guys took a break. Christmas gift suggestions. This is going to be serious, okay?
Oh.
To your enemies, forgiveness. To an opponent, tolerance. To a friend, your heart. To a customer, service. To all, charity. And to a child, a good example. To yourself, respect.
It was serious.
Serious. I can be serious like 10 seconds. That's it.
Right.
No
Me
more.
too. Me too.
That's pushing it.
Yeah, I don't like being an adult.
Yeah. But yeah. It's hard to do is respect yourself sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
I mean, unless you're Daniel. Yeah.
Right. True.
Yeah.
I don't
Just make sure you jingle all the way, okay?
know. Okay.
I ain't gonna show pretty sure that. Read it.
So here's another little kick to this. Just
Yep.
came to me. Now,
Are you kicking him?
yeah, he's kicking me under the table, but barely because his legs are so short.
Yeah.
I had to scoot closer.
He's in his high chair.
And I'm guilty of this. When we had the kids, we told them about Santa Claus. And we kept that going for like a few years. And it was funny.
Last year.
Well, like 2 years ago, I told Wyatt the truth. And he's like, you liars. What else did you lie about?
It was
was
just a year
not
before
happy.
that. Derek's dad told him about Santa Claus.
He was not happy.
No, because he come and told me about it.
Yeah.
Autumn still doesn't know.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I'm guilty of that, and that's something we did, and we kind of stuck to that, and now I'm like, man, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but
Why do you feel that way?
well, because Santa Claus is not real,
Right.
and we told our kids
You just ruined it for everybody else now.
if there's little 3-year-olds listening to this, I'm sorry.
Ray put a warning in at the first.
Right?
Yeah, Ray put a warning on this one.
Yeah, put a warning.
So, did you do the same thing with like the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy?
Yep.
And
Yep.
do you feel the same way about them as you do Santa Claus?
As far as what? I don't know.
Yeah,
what that means.
yeah,
Well, I mean, because Santa Claus isn't real.
right,
The Easter Bunny's not real.
right.
The Tooth Fairy's not real.
Mm-hmm. But so now, if we
right?
broke
But you
that
would
down,
still,
so if we broke that down to Easter and the
Right.
Christmas, that's the two that are going no, because we're losing the reason why
Right.
we're celebrating those.
right,
Like the Tooth Fairy, there's no other,
right. There's nothing that you're celebrating with
right.
it.
There's no religious, beliefs that we believe in that are contrary to the
Right.
Tooth Fairy.
Just pay me.
Right. Yeah.
That's right.
With
yeah.
inflation, it's $20 a tooth now.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah. Here,
I'm
take,
only up to 5.
Oh, okay.
you can have all of them. man.
Cents. 5 cents.
But it's just one of those things. Now I look back and be like, man, should I have done that? I don't know. I mean, we can get into this real big debate on this, but it's something that we did and we got to live with it. But that was just funny because, a couple years ago when I told Wyatt, and man, he was so mad.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just livid, and he would I'm not talking to you, you liars, But
Santa Claus wanted to bring you presents
right?
now.
Yeah.
I was in college and my mom would still write from Santa, and I was like, "Mom, come on."
Right.
Well, Amanda, with the little ones, with both of them, she would always just say Santa Claus was just a game we played. So at a young age, they still didn't go along with it, but they knew it was part of Christmas at some point. So
Yeah, and it was just
nobody.
it was just cool to do for the kids,
Yeah.
And that's how I guess we kind of grew up too as little ones, Santa Claus, and like you said,
Yeah,
cards from college with Santa Claus. And,
yeah.
But I kind of like it when my little one, she'll say, "What kind of cookies does Santa Claus want this year?" Even though it's you, Dad, what do you want?
right.
And I'm like, I think he likes no bakes and Rice Krispies and a bigger glass of milk this year. He told me a bigger glass this year.
Because I remember my sister So my sister's 4 years younger than me. She believed in Santa up until like she couldn't anymore because it just kind of got ruined. She was probably 7th or 8th grade, and so like it would literally be you put the cookies out. Me and my brother would get up and help mom do all the Santa stuff, and we would type up a letter from Santa talking about how great all 3 of us were that year, even though none of us were, So, like, even as a teenager, I played the game just for my little sister. But I see what you're saying. Like,
Whatever, Daniel. You're still going.
We pulled the for Taylor. Yeah. Taylor still believes y'all. Don't tell her. But we've kind of pulled the wool over the eyes on what the true meaning is by this whole Santa stuff.
Yeah, because I like to get Ray's input because
you got a young one still, yeah.
I do, and that's one of the things that we talked about right away after we got. I'm trying to remember if it was even before we got saved that we told her that Santa wasn't real. We told her pretty early on because one of the things that my wife and I kind of talked about and decided on was the fact that lying to your kid about something like that, making something up because, and this is what just dawned on me when you were bringing this up, Derek, is you lie to him about Santa, lie to him about Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, and whatever all the other things are. Then they start questioning you. What else are you lying about? So if you're trying to teach them about Jesus and the Bible and all of this everything that comes with this, but then you're going to be lying to them about other stuff, you're going to be, I don't want to say cheapening is not the right word, but you're going to be sowing seeds of doubt in them about what else could you possibly just be making up. And we right away were like, there's nothing to gain from her thinking that there's some mystical, magical man who can travel all over the world in one night and give toys to all the kids everywhere in one evening. And we still told her the reason that we put Santa on some of them is because it doesn't matter if it came from mom or dad or grandma. It doesn't matter who the toy came from. It doesn't matter where the present came from. So that's why we actually still do put Santa on presents, but it's more of like a game, like Randy said. Yeah. This is a true gift that doesn't have an owner. So you don't have someone you have to look back to and say, thank that person for that. Yeah. So I think that's maybe a way you could look at it. If you got young ones or planning on having kids in the future and you're trying to think about how do you tackle this subject, I don't think you have to throw Santa out. Right. I just think you need to just be honest with them right from the beginning. Yeah. And I don't remember even how I found out that Santa wasn't real, because I can remember as a real little kid, watching the Santa tracker on the Doppler radar on TV and, the whole thing. Oh, better go to
Jay doesn't remember that.
Yeah.
No, you had to call the number and it told you where
it told you where it was.
From the landline.
That was before they had TVs. It wasn't telegraph.
Yeah. You had to wait on Aunt Sally to get off the phone, though, so you could use
I got to start over. I pushed her own button.
But and I'm not saying you have to if you want to tell your kids about Santa and keep Santa going as long as you want to. I don't think there's an issue there either.
But it'd be hard not to put Santa in there because it's so commercialized.
You're
going to see it everywhere, and they're going to have questions anyway.
The thing is, it's not that's new still though. That's not even barely 100 years old. It was I think it was back in the 40s when Coca-Cola basically reinvigorated Santa because he's red and white. Their colors were red and white, and it was just an ad campaign
before the polar bear.
Yeah, before the polar bear.
That's the best thing about it. The polar bear.
They brought it all in, and again, it's no different than Black Friday. They use it as an excuse to sell a bunch of stuff.
Which by the way, Black Friday this year, like no one was opened early.
Yeah,
everyone
they didn't have to do none of that.
Yeah,
they did all the digital. They did all
everything
online.
was open at their normal time. Stores were running week-long deals,
and they had the best Black Friday
had
they've had in a
Black
decade
Friday
or something
sales.
like that.
Yeah. So no, because I was just thinking too. Working in the schools with the age group that I do is where you're starting to get that, even at the elementary age, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade, is where you're starting to get those kids that still believe, and then you got the ones who don't believe. And so it's like, how do you do that? Like if you're a parent and you say, Santa's not real, we give gifts because the shepherds and the wise men gave gifts to Jesus, and and so that's where you take it from. But then you've got kids and there's kids in your child's class that goes, oh, Santa's real. how do you tell your kid like, hey,
You're wrong.
You teach him to throw holy water on them and call them sinners.
Well, see, Wyatt battled that.
yeah,
He battled that because he'd
Yeah.
come home and be like, Dad, Santa is real, right? And you're like, but that's why I kind of feel guilty about because, Wyatt just takes everything, what I say is, that's the truth. Hey, Dad said this. And that we still do that. Like even as adults, hey, Dad said this growing up or Dad said this growing up. So, we take everything like that to heart. And sometimes, I kind of wish that I would have just told him the truth early on, but yeah, I think he's over it now. But
is that kind of that battle on Christmas?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
with that whole monopolization of Santa Claus,
right? And we're just saying, hey, take a stand, and we're still saying, hey, Santa, But I'm just telling you how real, it was in my life, and that's what we did.
But you still got to remind the kids to stay connected to the meaning of Christmas.
Right.
Sometimes it takes a little bit of effort, but it's so worth it, though.
So, Randy, because yours is Hannah's is at that age where you threw a quote in there.
You liked it, didn't you? Just snuck it right in. You saw it as a conversation.
Saw that.
No.
But Hannah's at the age where some of her friends are still believing in Santa Claus, right?
Yeah.
And so, how do you deal with that? How do you? Because I know Hannah, she's going to speak her mind, like you.
And that's how we dealt with it. It's don't ruin it for everybody else. Play along if you need to, but you know it, but don't ruin it for everybody. We're pretty cut and dry. You all heard everything come from my daughter's mouth. As far as being blunt,
Right,
you said.
right.
So basically, that's how it is. I mean, we all talk that way around my house. I don't like sugarcoating. If it hurts your feelings, I'm sorry. It's not necessarily being negative, but we try not to just sit here and just go around everything because that one definitely takes everything literally.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't, then she'll figure it out. I mean, it's amazing. She's about to be 9, I think. She'll find the answer, and then she'll come to you, and then I'm going to punch you in the mouth because you lied to me.
Harmony's exactly the same way.
Yeah.
She came up to me on Friday last week. I'm starting work, and she comes into my office, and she's still in her pajamas. It's like, 8 in the morning. And she says, Dad, I looked it up, and kids have Friday off after Thanksgiving. She's homeschooled, so she was saying school kids have Friday off after Thanksgiving. And I said, well, you're homeschooled, so it could be different for you.
It's whatever Dad says.
Yep. It's like, no, but we did get her the day off, of course, too. We said, you could definitely have a day off from doing schoolwork. But yeah, she went and looked it up before she even came to me.
Yeah. And don't think we're all negative. I'm just saying we throw it out there, and then it's like, okay, just because we know this or believe this doesn't mean you need to go ruin somebody else.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not like we're ruining our kids, but sorry, I don't want it to be older child and they're mad and everything else. That's not, I'm putting that down. I'm just saying, I think my girl would whoop me is what I'm saying if I liked her at that age.
Yeah, but
yeah.
Like her friends at school that say Santa's real. How does she deal with that? How have you taught her to deal with that as a
I'm
dad?
pretty sure she'll just
Say, okay.
still talk to you about it. She won't. Not necessarily.
She's not going to go up to him and say, "You're lying."
She could, but I don't
No,
necessarily
not-
think she would.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, we have the conversation. It's still a game. Just play. And it's not that if you believe it, then we need to sit down and have a talk about it.
Yeah.
But if you just want to play the game and just whatever, move on, that's the way we deal with it. So.
Yeah, and I was just wondering because in case we had anybody that was listening that is in that boat, like, hey, we're tired of playing into the whole monopolization of Santa Claus, and so how do I let my kid know that Santa's not real, but don't ruin it for people who do?
I think what it is for us, majority of us, I'm not putting you down, but I'm saying majority of us grew up in church, and not saying you didn't. You said you were Lutheran or whatever, but I'm saying basically we all grew up in church, so we already knew that was what Christmas was about.
Right.
So I think that carries on over to the next generation, is just when you want to stop playing the game.
Yeah.
Well,
So, I mean, it's necessarily just don't be mean and go from there. But I'm saying it's just one of those deals that we just didn't really play that much of the game. I mean, like he said, we probably still put Santa on there, but
yeah, it doesn't have to be. That's
Yeah.
not the reason for the season.
yeah.
Well, and actually, I got a Bible verse that actually I think kind of actually puts some credence to the way that you're doing it. Yeah, so actually, Romans 14:5-6. One person esteems one day above another; another esteems every day alike. Let each be fully convinced in his own mind. He who observes the day observes it to the Lord, and he who does not observe the day to the Lord, he does not observe it. Right? He who eats, eats to the Lord, for he gives God thanks, and he who does not eat, to the Lord he does not eat, and gives God thanks. Right? So as long as God's in there, that's the important part about it. I don't think we need to be, we do not need to divide amongst this, especially among Christians, and say that, oh, you put Santa on presents, well, you're not a true Christian, or that is one of those little things that really in the end does not matter. As they were saying here in Romans, that it's as long as you are glorifying God, and that's the real impetus behind all of it, that God's not going to have a problem about it. I doubt we're going to get up to heaven and he's going to say, I don't know, you said Santa one too many times.
Yes, but also to kind of what you asked about what she would say or anything, I wouldn't put it past her to say, well, it is Jesus's birthday, because that one there, I'm not going to say she knows her Bible, but she knows enough by hearing it from here. So I'm pretty sure we've already talked to her about her several times. It's Jesus' birthday. This is what we celebrate. So I wouldn't put it past her if she talked at school that, could be about Jesus too. But she wouldn't ruin it for Santa Claus either. But
What did the great philosopher Kevin Weatherby say from Save the Cowboy?
let's eat beef. Oh,
I don't remember.
Don't be a holy hole.
Yeah.
Oh, the other one. I didn't think you meant that.
I like to listen to sometimes his podcast too,
Yeah.
Save the Cowboy.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask you, Jed, what about you? Because, you got a handful of kids over there, growing up with them. And did you do Santa Claus or?
We done Santa. They pretty well found out, I don't know how, from school or from somewhere, that Santa wasn't real, but just kind of like Randy said, I mean, they've always been in church pretty well, and they knew the real story, so it was good that way. So they know the true meaning of it. I don't know. I've had a dislike for Christmas, and I've lived by my own fault in my own family, just the way it was after I got married and we started having kids. Christmas was a hectic thing. We've always done Christmas Eve at my parents'. Then when I was married before, it was early rise, do our Christmas. Within 15 minutes of the kids opening gifts, she was gone to the next Christmas breakfast, and then back, and then to another Christmas for lunch, and then back to another Christmas dinner. And sometimes there would be another one squeezed in between. And my wife at that time probably had more on the commercialization of Christmas and giving gifts to our kids than was well needed. And so
It was stressful for you.
it was very stressful.
Yeah.
It got so stressful that I actually tried to pull out some of our stops on Christmas. Of course, you know how them things usually go. I was a loser. I didn't get to pick the ones I wanted to pick, but it made it a little nicer, and we started to try to rotate it from year to year. But my grandmother, I probably just only had 2 more Christmases with her at that time. And I don't know. I love the true meaning of Christmas. I love to spend the time with the family. The gifts are okay. Just not my big deal. When I was a kid, yeah, we got gifts, but we'd get 2 or 3 gifts.
Right.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Just an example, there was one Christmas where my kids probably each had a month's worth of wages spent on them, which I thought was nuts.
Yeah, the whole list, and I want everything on the list.
And the list came, and it was fulfilled, and that takes away from the real meaning of Christmas. And it's been better. I like it now because the way we do it, it's more at ease, and it's not about all that. And we go back to the true meaning of Christmas, and I'm a lot better person nowadays.
Yeah. Not so stressed out.
Not so stressed out.
Yeah. That's what I told my kids this year, too. I said, now that you're older, I think we're not going to give you gifts, and we'll take that money and buy gifts for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, they were like, okay. But they still sent the Christmas list.
All right.
So I'm like,
Well, like,
what do you...
my mother-in-law does a thing, like a 4-gift thing, right? Something you want, something you need, something to wear, and something to read. And that's all you got was 4 gifts. But she said, I got to find this text, because she said she was going to change it up this year.
I'll give you everything you want.
No, because if that was the case, I'd have a...
I mean, there are some
Minimum
years
of
that I
10
got
acre
good
farm.
gifts, but it wasn't every time you turned around.
Right.
While you're looking, I'll
Yeah,
read this because
yeah,
I
go
just
ahead.
showed Jed this one. And probably the reason we all go haywire at Christmas time is the endless restraint and often silly buying of gifts is that we just don't know how to put our love into words.
Very true.
And that
I
was-
liked it.
That was one thing, like me and Taylor said this year, that we're not going to buy gifts. We're just going to go on a trip somewhere and just spend time. Like that's our Christmas this year. Okay, so here it is. So instead of 4 gifts, she's going to do 3. So gold, frankincense, myrrh, right? The 3 gifts that the wise men brought. Gold, something of value that you want. Frankincense, something for spiritual growth. And then myrrh, something for the body to wear.
Did you put like Tony Llamas on there or what?
No.
I just need one gift for all those 3.
But I was like, that's kind of cool. I like,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
good.
that's a good,
I like that.
because
I
it
actually do
gives
like
you
that.
kind of that spiritual, y'all want me to send that to you?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
That'd be good.
Yeah,
Send
I'll
it.
send that to y'all. Cool.
That's a good one. I like that.
3 gifts. That's all you
Good
get.
job, Daniel.
Thanks. I contributed.
Good
Yeah,
job.
right.
Mother-in-law, but that works.
Well, we had the couple of years when we first moved out to Hawaii. We've twice now in the last less than 10 years basically just started over. Got rid of everything, spent every dime we had, and moved. And so we moved to Hawaii, and at the end we barely had $1 to our name. So I know that Christmas that was a tough Christmas. We actually had one Christmas we were not together. I was still in Minnesota and they were in Hawaii during Christmas, and we delayed to do Christmas until I arrived, and I didn't get there till February. So our Christmas was very late, but we did the FaceTime with each other and talked to each other, and they had their tiny little Christmas tree. I mean, that first year when they were in Hawaii, I think we still have that tree, but Wendy bought like a little 1.5-foot tall Christmas tree. That's it. That's all they had, and I don't think. My wife and I didn't, for a couple of years, we barely got each other any gifts because we couldn't afford anything. We just got a couple of things for harmony. And I'm not saying we didn't give each other something, but it was like, here, I got you a sweater, and that was basically it. And this year probably going to be another similar type year. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all, actually, because we only have one child. So you can already assume she has way more stuff than she needs anyway, because we don't have anybody else to buy anything for. But
I'm right here, Ray.
yeah, we have another big kid. I'll get you some chicken tenders.
Is that a fat joke? Strips, Ray. I'm an adult.
Chicken strips.
Chicken strips. Sorry, I always forget whether it's tenders or strips. I never remember.
I thought it was steak for
With
Christmas.
tater tots.
That's 6 days after Christmas is the steak.
But last year I'd had my new job and was finally making money, and we did go a little overboard last year. We got Harmony way too many darn gifts. Like, she got a pile of presents last year, so hopefully we didn't set ourselves up for failure this year when it's not going to be exactly the same.
Wait, back up. You lost me. How do you make money at your job? No,
Yeah. Well, not all of us
You need to
retired
write it.
before we're 40, Randy. But
Okay, I'll stop. I won't even say that. You're right. I did.
Some of us actually have to be the provider for our family. No, I'm just kidding. Ooh. Shots fired.
That's you too.
But it's yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it'll be a different Christmas this year. That's for sure. It'll be a
Yeah.
different Christmas than it was last year because we're still, we're coming out of the move to moving here from Hawaii. So I'm not saying we're not going to have anything, but it's not going to be the same as it was last year for her. So
Which on a normal year we don't really do many gifts. We may do like 1 or 2 gifts for each other because like throughout the year, like if Taylor's like, "Ooh, I like these jeans," or "I like these shoes," I'm like, "All right, here, like take my debit card. I don't know how much money's in my account, but we're gonna overcharge it. Let's go."
Oh, here.
Yeah. So like we buy gifts for each other throughout the year, not just.
oh yeah, I mean I already got
So,
something
like,
for my wife that I tell her is her Christmas gift. I mean we got it last week. I was like, there you go,
Yeah.
early Christmas gift.
Yeah. So like Christmas, like buying gifts for Christmas to us is like,
I think that's what makes it hard to buy Christmas gifts if they're going to be special gifts because
yeah.
we buy it all during the
we
year,
get it-
whatever
yeah.
we want, So
I'd rather make sure she's taken care of throughout the year, and not just. And it's the same. It's the same with like Valentine's Day. I hate Valentine's Day, and we can get into that in February, but just now at that time.
I have learned a small trick that I'll do is because I do the same thing. We'll just buy her stuff whenever she wants something. I'll just buy it for her right then. I've just now started to realize that every now and again when I buy her one of those things she wants, I just don't give it to her right away. I go stick it in the closet, and I got it on reserve for Valentine's. or the New Year's.
I'll forget where I put it because I've done that before.
But Derek, I don't know how to outdo my last year's Christmas present, so I'm in a stump.
I'm just gonna say it right now. You men need to get creative. Okay.
We call you.
I make her gifts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
hey, you got one of her gifts. Just come on over and get it. To
Right. I think one year I built her a coffee table, and she already told her about this year. I'm making her one of those hall trees, like boot things, boot benches. So that's what I do. I try to do things that are like that. I make her things, and I think she likes that more than me going to go get buy something. But like I still like, it's like last year she's like, "Don't buy me nothing for Christmas," this and that or whatever.
I'll still get her.
I'll still get you something, 'cause-
but it's not like a huge thing.
Right.
We're not all skilled like you, Derek.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I did
build her a car.
You mean cheap?
Have you seen the price of
lumber
wood?
ain't cheap, man.
Yeah, it's like gold.
Yeah. I did build her a desk one year.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Like,
Got a kid.
Yeah, like I do stuff like that too.
Mm-hmm.
I can't build
Every once
mine
in
a
a
car
Why?
because she's got more.
Because he's struggling to
more-
build himself a car right now.
Well, I like cheap cars. She doesn't. So yeah. What do you do, Jed?
Yeah.
Do you
yeah.
build?
What do you? What,
Do you just go out in the field and get a
He's-
cow and
he's
just have a
just-
metal raiser a cow for the year?
he slaughters a cow.
No, I do a little building too. I've made a few signs and just the little sign over the pantry that says pantries.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she wanted a sign for that. You don't find signs that say pantry.
She needs it.
So I took some old barn wood, painted pantry on it, took some of her grandma's kitchen cabinet knobs and screwed on it,
Yeah.
and put the wire on it. And yeah,
they love that stuff.
They love that.
Oh, yeah.
Lisa just loves the surprise.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is. I mean, you could get her a candy bar as long as it's not planned. It's a surprise.
Yeah, like when they
It's
go to
good.
that home store, I can't remember what it's called now, but off the highway, and I'm like, no, you're not buying that. No,
This is
I
the
could build that.
at home.
Yeah,
or
at
whatever.
home.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's from China. I'll build you one.
Yeah.
Hobby Lobby at home.
Yeah,
it's all
whatever.
it's all the
Oh.
same. I'm like, no.
No, it's on sale. I don't care. I don't care if it costs me $200
Right.
more to make it.
Right? It's made with love.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man,
Only if you could build cars, she'd be my best friend. No, she,
I can. I didn't want to tell you.
Yeah,
You just can only build Fords.
right.
Right.
You know, good ones.
No, haven't seen any. Even though probably my phone's filled up with all of them.
Yeah, I only build nice Fords at your work, right?
I said I built Fords at work. I didn't use that nice word. What is that?
Yeah, you did. You're like, oh, Derek, check this car out, man. It looks so good.
You're the one who wouldn't leave. It's like, dude, we had a 4-hour lunch. I got to get back to work sometime.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, I think that's the first part.
Yeah.
I think so.
Part one. An hour and a half long. Sorry, folks.
Oh, Randy's
Oh,
got
wait.
one more.
I got one to finish whenever you guys are done. So just go for it.
Yeah, because I wanted to like break this down to like 45 minutes, but you know that never
That,
works.
that
It
never works. Doesn't
What's
work.
45 minutes?
I have no idea.
Warm up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my wife's like, I don't have an hour and a half to listen to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Make time.
Split it up.
Yeah. She's like, I heard enough of you guys like every week.
Make time. Make time.
You're welcome.
Right.
Come back next week. We'll have more.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Christmas is a necessity. My phone just. That has to be at least one day of the year to remind us that we're only here for something else besides ourselves.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one to end.
That is. Well, thank you for joining us today on Spiritual Debriefing.
Yeah, that's
If
a good one too.
Yeah, if you have any topics or questions that you'd like for us to discuss and talk about, you can reach us on all of our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. What else are we on, Ray? YouTube. You can comment on YouTube, send an email, and that email's in the description, right? I don't even remember my own email now.
It's past his bedtime.
It is. It's coming up on about 15
And he's the
minutes.
youngest one and should have
right.
a memory.
It's like well, I've got so many emails.
D
dmeadows at fbchawasi.com.
.com.
Right. So you can always comment there, email there for any questions. You can comment on any of our posts that we post on social media or contact us.
Yep, and I think there's also, it should be working, that you can also email Ray at spiritualdebriefing.com.
Ooh,
We're going to have our own website before too long.
Official.
And I'll probably get, if these guys are nice to me, maybe I'll get them website emails too. We'll figure it out. Yeah, right. There's a committee of one who took care of that. The Lord said it was okay.
Hey, as men's ministry director for another 30 days, I'm okay with it. I approve.
The next 30 days.
The next 30 days. After that, talk to Derek. No, hey guys, thanks for joining us on Spiritual Debriefing. I'm going to close this in prayer, and then we'll be done. Father, we thank you so much for this evening, God. Thank you for the time that we can gather together and just discuss and have fun and laughter and talk about things you've placed on our hearts, God. We just ask that you help us to stand up and be bold this Christmas season, God, that we don't take Christmas away from you, but that we point people back towards you in Christmas, God, and that we tell people what the true meaning of Christmas is all about. Father, we just we love you. We thank you. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you for listening to Spiritual Debriefing, a podcast supported by First Baptist Church Hiwassee. Please like and subscribe to the podcast so you can be notified when we post new episodes, as well as check out our past episodes. We'll be posting new podcasts every other Thursday. You can follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you have questions you'd like us to answer, comments, or feedback on the podcast, please contact us through our social media or email us at dmeadows@fbchiwassee.com. Thank you, and we hope God blesses your day.